What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of No Reserves Podcast, the football episode. We are fresh off the heels of the Halloween special, which just threw a big old monkey wrench into our plans. So today we're going to try to mix fantasy and regular football content, and we'll see how that goes. So, Alex, what did you think of the Halloween special?
I liked it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I mean,
Did you?
we went completely off the rails,
Yeah, we did.
but it was
Yeah, we
a
did.
blast. I mean, we talked about every single thing that you can imagine, Halloween related, almost, except the topics that we had actually planned for. So that's always fun.
It's a wonderful knife, man.
When are you going to watch that? I didn't catch that.
I don't know. I know
Okay.
Alexis wants
Eventually.
to watch it, so we'll see.
Okay.
Oh, so Alex, rough week for you, huh, buddy?
Yeah. Don't get me started.
Oh, go
So
ahead.
the week,
There we
the
go.
week came and went, and I managed to get 4 of my picks right. That's not bad, right?
4?
Like I got 4, yeah,
4?
yeah. Out of 16. Yeah, 4 and 12 here for me. Really bad day. And it's like I had some reads, and this is not excuses. This is just, I mean, I was watching those games, and I had some really bad beats. Like there were some who, okay, wherever, like they had no chance. Like Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, the Rams, that is. None of those had an actual chance, but like Washington was up for most of the game, and then just like in the fourth quarter, just collapsed and didn't even cover the 6.5. And then Buffalo, like last minute touchdown by Baker, plus a 2 point conversion, just throws the Buffalo -7 to the garbage. And same thing with the Baltimore Ravens. Like Arizona gets the first onside kick of the season, if not mistaken, and managed to score 3 points out of it, just to completely throw a wrench into Baltimore -8. So all of those were lovely. Meanwhile, you went 10-6. Congrats.
Just go against Alex, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I need to start going against Alex as well, I guess.
It's a great strategy. It's an amazing strategy. So, I'm guessing you have our overall percentages.
I do sort of. I haven't calculated it yet because
Okay.
the game wrapped up yesterday. So I will have those up to date later in the show, probably.
Okay.
I'll let you know when I do.
So then, is there any game in particular you want to talk about? There's only really 2 I want to talk about, and we probably should keep this shorter than we normally do so that we can get through everything in a timely manner. You know you know at least one of the games I want to talk about.
And I guess we can start with that one. I'm pretty sure you're going to talk about your guy, isn't it?
Will Levis! I told you! What did I tell you? He was the best quarterback in Tennessee. What happened, Alex? What happened when the Mayo drinking Will Levis took the field? What happened?
I need to throw some cold water on your
No, you
hype.
don't. There's no cold water required for this one.
Nah, there is a need there. You are running way too hot with that one.
Uh-huh.
I mean, so I'm not gonna rain on your parade because he had a good day.
He had a great
That
day.
is a fact. Yeah,
Great day.
pretty solid. Like first performance ever in the NFL, and also
He
being
made me
thrown
enjoy
out.
watching the Tennessee Titans. That's an accomplishment of its own. So
Yes,
there you go.
but there's always a but.
And he cost you in fantasy. Double.
That one stung, yeah. That one wasn't great.
If
Yeah,
you
and
face DeAndre Hopkins, I'm so sorry for you.
it did get me a win in the Star Wars League as well because I had him, Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the league that mattered the most, didn't work out great.
You got victimized by him.
He had
How many points? I lost track. Was it 55?
who?
Hopkins.
Oh no. He had 34.8.
Oh, 34.8. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, but him and Lamb combined for 75.8 points.
I love it.
He scored 154. So seven players scored the same as those two.
I love it.
Just lovely.
That's
And my
great.
team had a touchdown the whole week. They had a touchdown, which was
Yep.
that one to Jamar Chase.
You're welcome.
But going back to Will Levis, pretty solid performance. I mean, he played well. There were some concerns though, because I mean, he could have had a few more completions that I mean, he just completely failed on the short passes, which was my concern out of college. That he wasn't great in the intermediate and short stuff. And he did show that in the short stuff. He would not overthrow, but like he threw the ball behind the wide receivers quite a bit, and they just didn't have time to adjust. Plus, the first touchdown, I mean, like if you watch that play, AJ Terrell just got completely lost in the sauce, and
Yeah.
Hopkins didn't.
He
So
got
Hopkins
blinded
made the
by the
play and
Will
got the
Levis play.
touchdown. And I would argue that's actually like that should have been a flag on Hopkins, but it is what it is, and it wasn't. And in the end of the day, they also like that last touchdown. That was pretty good. I have to say that. Like the one to which was it? One of their random wide receivers. Yeah, Nick
Westbrook.
Westbrook. Yeah, Keeney. That one was pretty good. I mean, plenty of zip on the ball and nice touch. He did have
No,
some nice variation in terms of touch and
I will
like placement of
defend.
the ball. So
I will defend the short passing a little bit because, to be honest, when you got a howitzer, like everything, you want to use it. So, like when you're the hammer, everything looks like a nail. So I kind of get those struggles. When you're that like supremely talented in an area, you want to use it.
yeah, that is fair, and that is also something that, for example, Zach Wilson had to overcome as well,
Yes.
because in his first few years he would constantly like put way too much zip on those
Yeah.
short throws, and it just
You
would
just
go
want to
completely
use it. You
kaboom.
got a can and you want to
Yeah,
use it, man. Like,
yeah, you just it's a learning curve for sure. So I'm guessing he will eventually get better at that. But it was a solid performance overall to start.
in the
There's
no duh moment after the game, Will Levis got announced the starter for the Titans next game. In the well,
I think the exact wording was that if Tannehill doesn't go, then they are going with Will Levis. Yes.
oh, I thought they just flat out announced him as the starter.
No, I don't think so. Maybe I missed something, but what I know that was said by Vrabel was that they would look at like how Tannehill is doing and go from there.
Oh, okay, so they're insane. Gotcha. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
but they're basically saying that it's Levis, not Willis, by saying that if Tannehill can't go, it's definitely Levis.
Well, no, duh. It's not Malik. It's not Malik, bro.
Malik is terrible.
Malik's not it.
Yeah,
I will maintain that Will Levis is the best quarterback in the Titans organization currently. But I guess if they want to, be boring and lose and put Tannehill out there, then go have at it. I guess. You know,
but it was a
power to
solid
you.
performance. Yeah, I just wish he used Traylon Burks a bit more, or like any other wide
What is
receiver.
going on
But
with
no,
Burks, man? He only got 2 targets. I don't think he got a single reception. What is it like?
it's not good. What?
He's not good.
It's like okay, like I'm being a bit harsh. It's just like he's probably not 100% healthy yet. So.
Yet, I hope
But yeah, I
he's
mean,
still on the copium. I
I,
think
I I wasn't a fan of the
Burks.
prospect.
That's
So
fair. Oh, I just I think at this point, if you haven't produced, it's very likely you're not going to. Like he's not commanding targets off of Hopkins. I don't I can't. I'm off. I'm completely off him. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm off him.
I am as well. I mean, I've been off him for a while. I tried to acquire a few pieces of him during the off season and just the hope that he would
Yeah,
do something as the one. This is before Hopkins. But when Hopkins signed, I moved every
you gave
single
it up.
Titan that I had outside of
Yeah.
Henry.
You know who I
But
didn't move?
who-
Will Levis.
you know, there's actually like quite a few interesting things here for like rookie Titans QBs who made their debut during the season. You know who else threw for 4 touchdowns in his like rookie debut with the Titans?
Who?
Marcus Mariota.
Interesting.
hmm
Well, maybe the Titans are just unsalvageable and they're just going to ruin Will Levis. That's very possible. I wouldn't put it past them.
And I believe there was also another one, which was back in 2004, if not mistaken.
That would be Vince
Billy,
Young.
no, the guy that played with him. I believe he played a few games that year. Billy Volek.
Billy Volek.
Yeah, Billy Volek. I believe like
Listen, stop trying to act like good performance is a bad thing.
it is not,
This guy.
but I believe he also had like a stretch in which he went completely kaboom back then when he started for them. Billy Volek. I had actually no knowledge of who this guy was until like earlier in the afternoon when I was listening to another show, and they mentioned Billy Volek. So
Oh man. So the other game I wanted to talk about is the Bengals 49ers because I actually got to watch that. Joe Burrow was cooking. Joe Burrow actually in the game broke his consecutive completions record against the 49ers. I don't know what he finished at, but I know I saw the 18th one. I don't know if he got to 19, 20, 21, but whatever it was, he's got the new completion record against his own personal completion record against the 49ers. Burrow was cooking. Higgins is looking better. Chase is the monster. What's going on with the 49ers?
it's, is it kind of partly on Purdy? Like,
Yeah, it is.
uh, kind of looking like it didn't, isn't it?
If CMC's not cooking, they're not running.
Yeah.
Like
And I mean, I guess they made an effort. I didn't watch a whole lot of that game. I was watching it on Red Zone, but it seemed to me like they were actually making an effort to
too busy watching
stop
Will
him.
Levis. I understand.
Yeah, I was
Go
too
on.
busy watching the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, kind of looked like they sold to stop him, and Purdy couldn't do much. It's weird because I haven't been like a Purdy believer. I'm also not a Purdy hater. I'm just like, okay, he's okay. He gets helped a lot by his surroundings, but like he isn't like an MVP candidate. He isn't like something that you try to make out of him as one of the great QBs in the league. He's just okay, and he's being like positioned to be a better QB than he actually is due to the weapons around him and the scheme. But it is kind of weird that when people were like, okay, like the stats are good to okay, but like the tape shows some things. Like he's getting, like I said, he's getting pretty lucky with interceptions. He's making errant throws that are being dropped by players.
He is such a conflicting player because yes, he has those moments, but he also has moments of brilliance where he'll do something like it's about to be the end of I think it's the second quarter and he's about to get sacked and the pressure was behind him and he sensed the pressure and he just threw the ball away and gave the 49ers another play. Like he's so conflicting, dude. He'll have moments of brilliance and then he'll have moments of frustration.
Yeah, but like when I was saying that, like the main argument was always like, don't look at the tape, focus on the stats. The stats are great. Okay, Perfect. And now that the stats are also not good, now it's like the stats don't even matter now. What even matters right now to evaluate a QB? I do agree he has some of those moments of brilliance, and I do agree he
Yes.
has like a pretty great sense of pocket awareness and all of that.
He has a great game sense. I'll
Yeah,
say that. He has great
yeah.
game sense.
It's definitely a plus for him, but he's kind of not what people try to make him off. Like he is closer to average than he is to good, I would say.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But okay, let's be fair to him too. He also has gone against the Browns defense and the Bengals defense, and you can say what you want about, the early struggles of the offense. I maintained that the Bengals defense played great. It's just Joe Burrow played so bad mostly because he was, hurt coming into the season, that he never really gave the defense a shot to shine. Joe Burrow cooking with this defense is deadly for anyone in the NFL.
Yeah, or for sure. No, he's back 100% healthy. So, I mean, at this point, they are back to who we thought they were.
Yep, 100%. 100%. Unfortunately, I don't think I can put the 49ers at 1 anymore.
Yeah, definitely shouldn't.
Hey man.
I'm kind of, I'm kind of having a tough time figuring out who's like the
What?
one for me.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, kind of. I mean, I guess there's like one choice.
Yeah.
Oh, we had breaking news here.
Breaking
Since
news.
this is now the football show overall, yeah, the 49ers are trading for an edge rusher.
Another one?
They, they are trading a third round pick in 2022 for
Okay.
Chase Young,
2022?
2024 for Chase Young.
They got Chase Young to go with Nick Bosa?
Yes.
Oh my god.
They acquired Randy Gregory earlier in the year as well from the Broncos.
And
And they
their
also
D
have
tackles
the
aren't scrubs either. Like,
I mean, they signed Hargraves from the Eagles last year.
yeah.
And they have young guys as well, like Drake Jackson rotating there in the edge department.
That's crazy, dude.
I mean, just completely
So,
crazy.
and here's the thing: you have to double team Bosa, so Chase Young is just going to get one-on-ones all day.
This is gonna be an insane. Like, I'm not the biggest Chase Young fan, but I mean,
He's going
in
to get
this,
one-on-ones, even
yeah,
if you're
in
not the
this
biggest.
game,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, like in this situation, that's pretty nasty. That's a pretty nasty duo. And I know I'm forgetting someone else, which is, of course, they also have, is it Armstead that they have
Yeah,
as a defensive tackler? And I think they have another good edge rusher, which I'm forgetting right now. But I can
it's
check that real quick. But yeah, like crazy trade, especially he basically went for less than Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat was traded earlier in the day to the Chicago Bears for a 2024 second. So you went for less than Montez Sweat.
that's crazy. Why didn't and this once again showcasing how much better the 49ers front office is than the Bears.
Uh, we're going a bit off the rails here, but since
It's
we're
not off
talking
the
about
rails,
that
it's
one,
true.
yeah, like we're deviating a bit from the script, but I we needed to talk about this anyway. So, like that trade to me makes absolutely no sense. Like, how are you gonna trade a pick who's probably what 35 to 38 at this point in the early second that they traded for him for a guy who's gonna be a free agent next year who offers you nothing for like you're not making any sort of playoff run or anything like that.
Yep.
So how are you going to trade that for a guy who basically will have every single piece of leverage when negotiating a deal next year? Because like, I mean, you can just hold down and say, okay, I'm going to another team and you spend a second in vain. Like, and
Oh my god.
you're gonna pay a guy who's okay, but not great. Like, he's okay to good. He's not like a great edge rusher to me. you're gonna have to pay him like over 20 million a year, like, and pay the second for him. That's asinine to me. Like, just nuts. Like, I
I
don't
agree.
understand that front office.
I it's why I
Like,
said rip Justin Fields as soon as the pick came. And you can say what you want about Fields, but the situation definitely didn't help, and he was kind of set up to fail from the get go. I think no matter what quarterback, you could replace Fields with anyone. Mac Jones in that class, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, they would have failed. You can't
yeah, I
convince me
agree.
otherwise.
I agree. It was just rough from the start. He just had no one.
Yeah,
And he
exactly.
still doesn't have much. He has more than he had. Like, the offensive line is better. Like, outside, like, receiver, I guess he has
DJ
DJ
Moore.
Moore and Darnell Mooney, but like, Mooney isn't. I don't think Mooney's a great two. He's an okay player, but
I think he makes a lot of good plays, honestly.
he does make a lot of good plays. So maybe I'm just underrating him. I would like I would just expect like a different type of player for him. To be honest, I would be much more. It's like he's a fine two, but I would be much more comfortable with him as a three. That's my point. Like, I think it's an excellent three. But yeah, like, crazy trades from that front office after the Chase Claypool deal last year. They follow it up with this one. Just
It's
great
like they're
stuff.
trying, but they're not trying. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like they're trying, but not trying at the same time.
They are just trying to be bad.
That's what it feels like.
They
Like
are
they're trying
actively
to
trying.
play the lip service. They're trying to make it look like they're like doing things, but they're just all catastrophic things. So I don't know.
I
I wouldn't
guess
want to
I
go there.
I guess we can just keep up like with every single trade that pops up. But there was another game that I want to talk about, and it is the Seattle Seahawks who beat the
Okay.
Cleveland Browns. 24-20. That game looked really rough there for a patch. I
Ugly.
was starting to think we were gonna lose it. And then in the end, like, PJ Walker is just not good and throws a pick
But he's better. He,
to
you want to know the sad thing? He's better than Dorian Thompson Robinson.
it is. That is
That's
true.
the sad part. Marginally better, like remarkably better,
I
and
don't know,
that's the
man.
sad part.
PJ Walker had 8 yards per attempt versus the Seahawks. Dorian Thompson Robinson had 9.
Oh
Don't ask me how many balls either of them threw, but
god.
those are the hard cold stats. One of them had a
Did the,
104.2 rating, the other had a 59.6.
did the Browns cross the 50-yard line?
They did, but like, I
Okay.
believe we did have like Seahawks weren't great. Like, Gino had a pretty tough game, like 2 interceptions. I
The
believe
Browns
one of
defense,
them.
dude. Like,
Yeah,
what
that
are
is
you?
true. That is true. But still, like, the offense didn't look that good for most of the game. Plus, they really went away from the run, which is not something I expected to be saying about the Seahawks. But I mean, the running backs ran the ball a total of 13 times in a game in which they were up
I heard
14.
Charbonnet had a good run.
Yeah, Charbonnet had a good run. Kenneth Walker had a good run. I believe Charbonnet had a 21-yard run. Kenneth Walker had a 45-yard run. Was more basically explosiveness, just the things that he does well. Charbonnet broke a few tackles to get there, like 2 or 3 or something like that.
So I guess I understand why you would want to like. No, I don't understand why you would want to pass more against the Browns defense. I was gonna say why you would want to run more to tire out Miles Garrett, and then I realized they didn't do that, and I'm just like, wait a minute, what are they doing? What was the plan? Just have Miles Garrett kill Geno Smith so Drew Lock has to come in?
Yeah, like, it we weren't running the ball great because outside of those 2 big runs, or I think there was another one in there, like, we were averaging like 3 to something to 3 yards per carry. So kind of not great. But I mean, just completely going away from it is kind of not the Seahawks identity. Plus, we are giving carries to DS Cridge and Jake Bobo now, so
Jake Bobo. Oh no.
Jake Bobo just scores touchdowns, man.
Oh,
Yet
Jake.
another touchdown scored by him.
Good old Jake Bobo, man.
Yeah, they like this guy. I mean, he was the talk of the camp. Yeah, he has 3 touchdowns on the year, if not mistaken. And he was making waves, and you know that Pete usually finds like one late round or undrafted guy that he usually likes to cheer on for the rest of the year, and this year is Jake Bobo.
I. Oh man.
The splits weren't great for Walker though. I think it's probably because of the injury, because he was injured for part of the week, if not mistaken. Charbonnet missed last week's game and came back healthy. So, and Walker, I have actually no idea which injury he had, but it's something that limited him or took him out until I believe it's Thursday. So
Nice.
I want to say it's part of the issue here. But Pete also talked pretty highly of Charbonnet. Now that's
Mm-hmm.
not like new for Pete because he would hype
Yep,
up
talks to
like
everyone.
yeah, like he would hype up the Eskridge, and it's hard to talk up the Eskridge. So I
It's hard.
wouldn't put a whole lot of
Yeah.
stock in that. I don't think like there's a magical like running back shift here. But yeah,
I mean, I'm
like
not suggesting that because
I have
I
seen
think
that
I think if
suggested. That's why I'm
If
talking.
Walker is hurt, if Walker is genuinely hurt, I think you could see them shift to like a 60-40 split for Charbonnet for like a week or two to get, you know, Kenneth Walker rested more, but that's probably only going to be for a week or two.
And that's basically what happened here. I think it was like the 55s to 40s, something like that, for them at running back. So
Favor.
yeah, in favor of Charbonnet. Like Walker did outtouch him, so he was still like in the lead in that department. But I believe, and I have that here. I can check it real quick. But I want to say that it was a 55-45 split or something of
Yeah, that's fair.
sorts for the week. But yeah, I mean, the offense looked iffy. The defense is finally looking like it should. Okay, so it was 59 to 41 this week in terms of snaps. In terms of touches, it was 10 to. Okay, in terms of touches, it was 9 to 7. So, to Kenneth there. But yeah, offense still struggled quite a bit. The defense is just playing great right now. Trey Brown, Tariq Woolen, and Devin Witherspoon all are playing amazing. And now with Jamal Adams back, he's making plays as well. So this should be like end season form for the defense here. And because I say this, we're gonna get completely plummeted next week. Next week by the Ravens. It's just gonna
The
happen.
Ravens are so tricky, dude.
They are, but they are pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
I do think they're a good team. Other than that, like the Jets with the Giants, that was a barn burner. 23 points in the game. Tyrod Taylor went down with a back injury, if not mistaken, which meant that Danny DeVito had to play quite a bit. Danny DeVito completed 2 passes on 7 attempts. That's just what a
That's
play. Yeah, they were running quite a bit of Saquon Barkley Wildcat, and I believe Saquon had almost 40 touches in the game. Yeah, he had 39 touches in the game. That's just ridiculous. But yeah, like Zach Wilson didn't play great, but he limited the turnovers. I believe he had like a fumble or something like that. He was sacked 4 times. Didn't play his best game, but I didn't play bad either. And much like Zach Wilson, he just didn't do much for like what 59 minutes. And then in the last minute of the game, the defense was completely thinking that they had it. And it just makes two big completions to set up a field goal and throw the game to overtime. I think they need to find a way in which Zach Wilson doesn't think about the game. He just plays,
He
basically.
just plays.
He just plays because that's what he does in those like last few minutes of the game. I mean, he's just going with the flow and he's making plays and he's getting big completions. And when he thinks, it seems like he just overthinks everything a bit too much. So just don't think, dude. Just go out there and play. Play like it's what? Street ball. Just go for it.
He says he's like, just go for it.
Oh, finally. Tyson Badgett.
Oh
What could
God,
have been?
no.
What
Oh,
could have been? I've sent you two plays there,
you did.
which, I mean, the dude should have had, what, two passing touchdowns plus a rushing touchdown that he didn't have. We would be
Yeah.
looking at him. Plus, that is what? That is an extra, I want to say 80 yards. So that's 300 yards passing over that. I mean, if to do that 300 yards passing, two touchdowns, two picks, and a rushing TD, everyone would be looking at him as the next like guy for the Bears. But he didn't. So it is what it is. But the receivers just let him down massively, and the refs for a bit there. The Mooney one was partly on the refs, but Willis Jones is just terrible. That drop, like you shouldn't be in the league, my guy.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough drop. I mean, to be fair to him, he did fall.
Yet the ball still hit him in the chest.
He was on the ground. I don't
He
know.
just needed to like grab the ball. Like the ball was, he had the possession of the ball, and then he just let it bounce a bit more, and then it just completely went through his legs. But like he had a realistic chance of getting that.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Oh, we have more breaking news. Not a trade, this one, but after
Oh,
trading for Joshua Dobbs,
okay. I was about
the
to bring that up. Joshua Dobbs
okay,
to the Vikings. Just remember,
yes,
1-2, throw Justin Jefferson. That's the job. That's the job, Dobbs. That's it. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta know. Just throw Justin Jefferson. That's all you gotta
they
know.
traded for him earlier in the day, but now
Uh-huh.
Kevin O'Connell is saying that for this week versus the
Don't you
Falcons,
dare say it.
they are going to start rookie QB
Uh,
Jaron Hall.
oh my god.
I actually had a soft spot for Jaron Hall out of college.
Why?
BYU QB Jaron
Stop
Hall
it. Stop it.
is just another BYU guy. I wonder if they get like if they still get credit for like making the guy who backed up Montana and then play Steve Young. If they still get credit for like getting Steve Young out of BYU, like okay, this guy's from BYU, Steve Young was from BYU, let's give him a chance. I wonder if that's still a thing.
Oh my
But yeah, Jaron Hall, like last 2 years in college, I believe he had over 5,000 yards and he had 51 touchdowns, if not mistaken. Plus, he has some rushing upside. He had 600 yards across the last 2 years in college.
god.
And he played with Puka Nakua. He was the guy that played with Puka.
Does he know how to 1-2 throw it to Justin Jefferson?
Well, I hope he knows something else because he won't have Justin Jefferson this week.
This is true.
So if that's all he knows, that's gonna be rough because there's no Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. How many more weeks
I,
is Jefferson out? Another week or two?
um, let me check because that was what, week 4? So
Pretty
this,
sure.
if week 4, this would be the last one in which he was on the IR. But if Sleeper could help me here, that would be tremendous. Okay, I'm just checking your team because you're the proud owner of Justin Jefferson.
I am the proud owner of Justin Jefferson. My team's pretty nice.
Yes, it is. You just completely went for it out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. 1-6 record.
So he was placed on IR 17 days ago, I believe.
So then this is the third week.
Okay, 20 days ago. My bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
20. Okay.
20 days. Yeah, I think this is the last week in which he's on IR.
Okay.
Yeah. He
Okay.
went on week 5. So after week 5. So 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9.
Yeah, we're golden. I just gotta survive this week, and I got Justin Jefferson back. There we go.
And there
Imagine how
was
many points. Good.
there was an update here. I believe yes, NFL Network's NFL Rappaport said that he will come back sooner rather than later. So because there was the one like you would miss between 4 to 6 weeks, it seems that is now closer to the 4 weeks.
There we go. Give me my Justin Jefferson, baby.
Yeah, but it is gonna be Jaron Hall this week. Maybe it changes next week. Probably does.
Hmm. Vikings plan to start Jaron Hall. I just got the notification. Yeah.
See, I always get those ahead of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just I get them on Twitter, so that's faster.
Okay.
But yeah, that Chargers game, we had our first Quentin Johnston sighting.
It was a pretty good sign. It just took Palmer going down for it to happen.
Yeah, he did come back eventually, but there were a few plays in there in which they were actively looking for Quentin Johnston as the first read. Like he still didn't look great, but he looked serviceable. I actually found myself in a position in which I was sort of advocating for Quentin Johnston, which was pretty crazy. Like I wasn't saying that he was good. I was defending the fact that he wasn't being used properly. Like if
Uh-huh.
there's any way that he succeeds in the league, it's by using him that way. And that's how he like excelled in college. And the Chargers just saw that and just completely didn't care about it and put him in a completely different role. And I was just getting arguments of like, yeah, but he's not even good at that. And I'm like, okay, but how do I know that? Like he isn't being used that way. So I find myself in that weird position, which was fun.
You defended?
I defended that he wasn't being used properly. Like
Oh.
I did defend that he's good because I don't think he's good. I defended that if he has any chance of being a wide receiver in this league, it's being used in a certain way, and he wasn't. So that's
Okay.
coaching staff.
Okay. Yeah, the coaching staff. What did I say in previous episodes? Is there a possibility the coaching staff is so terrible that it's more on that than Quentin Johnston actually being as bad as you say he is?
Could be. Oh, another breaking news. If those are just coming in flying. The Browns are trading wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones to the
Ooh.
Lions.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So wait, who's the Browns' second wide receiver then now? Elijah Moore.
Ah,
It's
it's gonna
Elijah
be
Moore.
Elijah Moore,
It's Elijah
and
Moore.
I guess this opens up some sort of opportunity for the guy out of Tennessee. Cedric, was it Cedric something? The rookie, Cedric Wilson. No, I'm
Oh,
misplacing here.
not Cedric
It's not
Wilson.
Cedric Wilson. Who's the rookie out of BYU that they out of Tennessee that they drafted this year? Um, Rookie wide receiver, Tennessee. It is. It is. Of course, this just shows me.
Michael Woods the second.
No, that was from a previous year. He was in the same team as Jalen Hyatt out of college.
Well, he's not listed
Um,
on the Browns ESPN depth chart. Who this might open up for is going to be interesting. What about David Bell? Cedric Tillman?
Cedric Tillman, that's the guy. Isn't he from Tennessee, or I'm just completely misremembering it?
I'm clicking on his. He is from Tennessee. He's
Okay.
6'3", 215. Wow, that's a pretty good profile. As
Yes,
far as frame goes, a good frame.
that's the guy that they drafted this year that some people were high on. So it's gonna be between David Bell or him. And I would say it's probably him. David Bell is kind of wherever at this point.
David Bell is kind of whatever at this point.
I mean, there's not much to like with David Bell, to be honest. Like, I usually don't get thrilled with 4.68 wide receivers. Wide receivers who run a 4.68, those guys are just great. Like, try run a 4.68 versus those speedy ass corners.
Well, we'll
But
see.
yeah,
But yeah,
another
Browns
trade in the
trade. So
books.
what does that mean for Donovan Peoples-Jones? Do you think he'll be the number two behind Amon-Ra St. Brown?
I just think they want fast guys out there. They have Khalif Raymond. They now have Donovan Peoples-Jones. They have Jameson Williams as well. They have the other guy, Josh Reynolds. He's not a really speed guy, so he plays a different role at this point. But maybe a similar enough role to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Kind of like an amalgam of guys there for wide receiver too. Jameson had another drop yesterday. He did have a good catch that went for quite a bit of yardage. And I guess we can make that the last game we talk about,
Yeah.
unless there's something
No,
else
that
you
has
want
to
to talk
be the
about.
last
Okay.
game. I think we should
S-
get with our
Wrap up that
prediction.
section. Yeah. That game was something. Like that game was a what? I think it was a 9 point game or something like that, all the way to the end. And like the Lions were playing pretty good. They just weren't being able to capitalize on it in the end. I mean, if I told you that a team went 126 yards passing and had what 70 or 80 yards rushing, like versus a team who had over 500 yards of offense, all around offense, what would you guess the score would be?
Yeah, a blowout in favor of the Lions.
And it was a 12-point game. It was a 9-point game for most of it. Lions scored a field goal late. Lions just weren't being able to score. And like the game ended 26-14 to the Lions. Raiders had a pick six with Marcus Peters. Just really weird game. They were basically talking about that game, like in the broadcast. They were talking about that game as it was over, as a 9 point game with like 10 minutes to go.
Hmm.
And it was pretty hilarious that they were just like, yeah, the Lions are the best team. And they started to do all of that. Like next week they face whatever, and the week after they face whatever. And now they're moving on to 6-2, for example. And the game had like 10 minutes left as a 9 point game. But Jameer Gibbs had himself
Oh,
the
don't.
day. I guess I should have made that trade for him in that NAS.
Yeah.
Sort of kicking myself there, but 26 carries, 152 yards rushing, a
Yeah, good luck
touchdown
getting him now.
rushing. Yeah. He also caught 5 balls for 37 yards. So he had almost 200 yards from scrimmage. And when
Yeah.
they come back from the bye, David Montgomery will be healthy and he will go back to 10 touches. Jameer Gibbs.
That's just crazy. That's just crazy. Like how good they are at like getting production out of running backs and how annoying it is to own their backfield in fantasy.
I just think you can start both. I have both in a
You
few
think you?
leagues. Yeah, I mean, when both were healthy to start the year, and this was when they were ramping up Jameer Gibbs. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Gibbs was a, what, 9 to 10 point scorer per game in like PPR. I mean, that's serviceable as a running back 2 or 3, depending on the league. That's okay. It's serviceable. Like he wasn't getting a ton of carries, but he was getting targets and catches. And I do think he will be more involved now that he's been ramped up. So I think you can start both. I mean, just in this game, like Craig Reynolds had 14 carries for 74 yards. And also, like Jameer wasn't really the goal line back. So he didn't have any of that. It was Craig Reynolds for most of it. So I do think you can start both, to be honest.
Maybe.
Yeah. I kind of am surprised that there hasn't been a Davante Adams trade
Two? I
because
thought I
yeah,
thought he like have you seen Devontae has been so inconsistent, not in like real life, but in fantasy because of how bad the quarterback play is. Like I said at the end, I said that he would just request a trade.
yeah, I that's what I'm saying. I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't been traded in real life
How has he
because
not
the
requested a trade? That's what I want to know. How has he not requested a trade?
I don't know when that game ended, he just went to the bench and slammed the helmet and was just completely pissed off. Like he had 7 targets, a catch for 11 yards. Like Garoppolo completely missed him on a 60-yard bomb in which he was wide open. Cam Sutton just messed up the coverage there. And another 40-yard touchdown would have been a 40-yard touchdown. Two big incompletions. Adams did have a drop there, kind of boggling drop for him. But
Mm-hmm.
still, like, I understand the frustration. Like, that's just going nowhere. Like, less or around 200 yards of all-purpose offense for him then.
It, it's bad.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
terrible.
bad.
Did you see Josh Jacobs' answer when he was asked, like, how can they fix the offense and all of that thing? They just turned around and said, I mean, it's not my job, so I don't know.
It's not though.
Yeah. And Adams, when asked about like his thoughts on the game, he said, "This has never happened to me before. I have no words."
I have no word.
Yeah.
He's
Like
speechless.
if they had the money, Josh McDaniels would be out of there, but they don't, so he's the head coach till the end of the season.
Till the end of the season? You think
At
you think he's
least.
Oh
Because like
man.
the issue with Las Vegas, the Raiders, it's they're one of the poor, if not mistaken, they are one of the poorest franchises in the league in terms of cash flow. So it would be pretty hard to like fire a guy with his sort of contract after having already. I mean, because they are still paying, if not mistaken, they are still paying Gruden as well. So
That's just terrible.
yeah, it is.
But I love it.
Yes.
The Raiders are the dumpster fire I said they were going to be at the start of the season, Alex.
Unfortunately, they should just
Unfortunately,
give Aidan O'Connell a chance.
they should just give Aiden O'Connell this guy.
They should though. You won't do any worse.
Is there a worst?
Good
There's
question.
worse. There's worse than that? Remember when you said Derek Carr wasn't much better than Jimmy Garoppolo? You still agree? Do you still agree, Alex? Is
Um,
is Jimmy
I mean,
Garoppolo like the same as Derek Carr? Is he,
do
Alex?
do you want to talk about the Saints? Is that where we're going? Because yeah, I mean, he had a pretty solid day versus probably the worst secondary in the league. But I mean, I would really appreciate if you would just stop overthrowing Chris Olave.
I
Like,
know.
dude, get a
Oh,
grip. Get a goddamn grip. But yeah,
oh.
Carr is better than Garoppolo. I still don't think the gap is huge, and Garoppolo is playing hurt. I would agree. I would think so with the back injury.
Well, agree to disagree on that one, I guess. But okay. So we have to do our power rankings, and we still have predictions for next week. So
Yes. Who goes first in the power rankings?
uh, I guess I can since I have to admit defeat with this one. I tried to hold pat on the 49ers, but I cannot any longer. I dropped them pretty bigly. All right, I'll start. My 10 is the 49ers.
Yikes! You're
Yeah.
lower on them than I am.
Yeah. 9 is the Browns. 8 is the Bengals. 7 is the Cowboys. 6 is the Ravens. 5 is the Jags. 4 is the Lions. 3 is the Chiefs. 2 is the Dolphins. And the Eagles have to be one right now. They just have to be. I debated putting Dolphins at 1, but it has to be the Eagles.
I'm still gonna push back on the Eagles. At this point, I might be an Eagles hater.
Yeah, at this point, you might as well just call yourself an Eagles hater.
Could be. I just think the other
They're
shoe's gonna
playing
fall.
well, just not well enough. Darn it! They
Yeah.
should be 8-0.
I mean,
They put,
I am completely flabbergasted as to how the Commanders lost that game. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. I watch those games and they don't seem like a team that should be the best team in the league. But then again, I have a pretty rough time like saying who's the best team in the league at this point. I just
tough, dude.
I don't think there's a team who's the best team in the league. I think like my top three, I guess. My top three could all be number one because they all have ups and downs. I could argument a few things for them, but we'll start from the bottom here. And my 10th team is the Dallas Cowboys. I'm still not 100% sure they are the team who they showed to be in the Rams matchup. I guess this is a pretty interesting matchup versus the Eagles this week.
Yep.
At 9, I mean, the disrespect that you had for the NFC West leading team, the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, this guy.
You don't even have them in your top 10, and they are what? They
You're
are
right. I don't.
currently, I mean, they are leading a division. So they should be ahead of the 49ers for you.
No, that's not happening.
Okay, at 8, I have the Buffalo Bills. At 7, I have Cincinnati. 6, I have the Detroit Lions. At 5, I have the Baltimore Ravens. 4, I have the San Francisco 49ers still. I
You have him
haven't.
at 4. Wow.
Yeah, I'm still not gonna drop them that much. I need to see another game. At 3, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. At
Agree?
Yeah. I just I can't put them any higher. They
Oh
probably
my
should be
god.
higher at this point, but
Uh,
I can't. Like
At this point, you're
It's
just being stubborn to be stubborn.
I guess that's just what we're going to do this year with the Eagles. Until I need to admit defeat, until they show me like a completely clean football game, I just have to go against them. Which is kind of dumb because the team that I have won has shown me plenty of games in which they haven't been perfect whatsoever. But yeah, at two I have the Miami
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yep.
And at one, I'm still gonna put KC. I'm gonna give them a pass for this game.
You're giving them a pass?
They are getting like the one free pass that I give to teams. I gave mine to Buffalo in the London game. I'm giving the KC
Neither of
Chiefs.
us have Buffalo in our top 10 currently, by the way.
I have them. I have them eight.
Oh, eight. Sorry.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, it was a snow game. Conditions. I mean, there wasn't snow on the field actually, but the conditions weren't great. Plus, Mahomes reportedly had the flu, and not every single player can be Michael Jordan when they have the flu. So, divisional game, conditions weren't
No,
great. He
brother.
had the
You know what?
flu.
You know what? You deserve this. You deserve this. I'm sorry. You deserve this. There you go.
I probably deserve that. Yeah, not a great game by Mahomes or anyone on the Chiefs, but they are still my number one team. Like I'm probably, if I would put anyone else at number one, it's probably Miami. I probably never put Philadelphia at one. Although
Never.
they are
You're not even going to
at,
consider it?
at this point, but they are like one of the top three teams to me can all be number one. I just would much easierly put Miami at one instead of Philadelphia. Like I would make in my mind the argument easier for Miami.
Wow.
But yeah,
I think you are
we
a hater.
I might be. Maybe I just haven't surpassed my Jalen Hurts draft take as I expected.
He's still sipping on the Jalen Hurts haterade.
Okay, and this is out of the way. So we are just missing the Lions for the week.
Yep.
Guess I can start this one. Are you ready?
Oh, oh boy. I know what I'm doing this week.
Okay, the Tennessee Titans at the Pittsburgh Steelers for Thursday night football. We do have a bit of buys this week, so the slate
Not
should
very
be
many games.
smaller. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe we have 4 or 5, something like that, teams on buy. But yeah, Titans at Steelers over under is 36.5. Yikes, which is the lowest on the week.
That's
And
pretty
we
low
just
for a Will Levis game. Yes.
and the
Well,
Steelers are 3-point favorites, and I
uh-huh.
am picking the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, perfect. I'm going with the Titans, assuming Will Levis starts.
I might have just picked the team that is currently starting Mitch Trubisky.
Yes, you did.
That's,
Congratulations.
that's
Going
just
up
great.
against Will Levis. Yeah. Yeah, you did. Go get it. Go get it, Alex.
Like, I can definitely see a scenario in which, like, the house of cards that Will Levis built in a day just completely comes down because TJ Watt wreaks havoc. I can also pretty easily see a scenario in which he throws for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and dominates again. So I am still taking Pittsburgh because I think the first scenario is more likely.
You say so.
Then we have the early game. This is a pretty good early game. I believe this one is in Germany. Are you seeing the game? I believe this one is for you.
Oh, sorry. The Dolphins at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 2 points. Give me the Dolphins.
This is in Munich, if not mistaken.
Give me
So,
the Dolphins.
hmm, that's an interesting spot.
2 points.
2 points.
Upset alert.
Oh, okay. You think they win? I guess 2 points. You just sort of have to say that. Yeah.
You might as well be saying they went up right. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going against you here. I think this is a bounce back spot by KC.
Okay.
But this is gonna be that this either is a barn burner or this is one of those games that looks great and then has like 5 scores and like three of them are field goals. So
If the Kansas City offense isn't scoring points, Kansas City is in trouble. And that's why I'm
yeah,
picking Miami. Because
but
I think there's more
Miami's
scenarios Kansas City is in trouble than there are Miami's in trouble.
that's fair to be honest. This is the highest over under on the week. It's
I'm going under on that
51.
though, probably. 51's a
Uh,
lot of points, dude. I don't know.
yeah, 51. It's especially for a game in Germany. Those like overseas game can be sort of sluggish at times because teams are adapting to different environment basically than they're used to. Okay, so Miami +2 for you. Next up, it's my Seattle Seahawks at the Baltimore Ravens. The Seahawks are 5.5 point underdogs at Baltimore.
Uh-huh.
Over under is 43 points. And they keep doubting the best team in the NFC West. So I'm just gonna take Seattle plus the points.
Ooh,
That's the spot you wanted to take.
crap. Huh. Well then. Um what to do, what to do, what to do. You know what? Go against Alex. All right, give me Baltimore.
It's probably your least favorite pick of the week.
Yeah, it's probably one of them. Yeah, it's up there. All right, so next one. Cardinals at Browns. Browns are favored by 8 points. Give me the Cardinals. I trust the Browns defense in an 8 point spread. I do not trust the Browns offense to cover the 8 point spread, and that's the problem. And
I
that's
mean,
the problem.
the only thing worse than picking a game in which your starting QB is Mitch Trubisky is probably picking a game in which your starting QB could be Clayton Tune, like he's like he's a Looney Tune or something.
Against the Browns defense.
Just give me the
The
Browns minus
the
8.
Browns
Like,
defense might score 14 points in this game, and just that might be it.
yeah, like I could see this. This is the second lowest, tied for second lowest over under in the week.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, man. I just don't see anything from Arizona. I did get burned last week. The spread was also 8, and it ended up being a 7 point game. But I'm going with Cleveland minus 8.
Okay.
Okay, next up, it's the Chicago Bears at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are
Who you
7.5 point favorites with an
who you
over under
got,
of
buddy?
41.5.
Who you got, buddy?
Snap. Can I trust Tyson Badgett again? Can I trust Tyson Badgett? Or can I trust the team around Tyson Badgett? That's the issue.
There you go.
Tyson Badgett can't win with these cats. Okay, so I am definitely taking the Saints. Saints minus 7.5.
All right. Well, then I am going to take the Bears plus 7.5. Let's go, Tyson.
Going against your mighty Saints.
I'm going against Alex. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, next up.
Olave could have like 150 yards in this game, by the way, if Derek Carr can get him the ball.
That would be a first. I just like he's
I
one
don't.
of the most targeted wide receivers in the league. Just
Who's the Browns, the Bears corner or DB that's defending Chris Olave? Who is it?
I mean, right now I would say it's Jalen Johnson, but he has requested a trade earlier today, so
So
that's
who is
their
it?
best corner.
Who is it?
Uh,
Defending them.
uh
Who's
like
defending Chris Olave, Alex?
probably a rookie somewhere. Like I probably know the name because I play IDP. But like at the top of my mind, like as you can imagine, a Bears cornerback is not someone you want to have in IDP. So
Who is it, Alex?
it's I
Come
can
down.
just check the depth chart real quick. I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm in it. The guy who's gonna go against Chris Olave right now, assuming Jalen Johnson gets traded. It's Kyler Gordon probably, who is a
Who?
second year cornerback. Yeah, out of Washington. It's pretty solid. But Jalen Johnson is like a pretty great corner
Solid?
right now. Yeah. Kyler Gordon is okay, solid.
He's about to get torched by Chris Olave.
Probably. Probably. I would say so.
All right. Am I next?
You are next.
All right. My next game is the Minnesota Vikings at the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are favored by 4.5. And I trust that as much as I can throw the football in real life. So give me the Minnesota Vikings.
The Jaron Hall led Minnesota Vikings.
Yes. This is going to be like, you're going to be so depressed after this game having like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, like 2 of the 3 first round picks for the Falcons
I'm
that
not
you're
even
just
sure
going to.
that Drake London plays.
You're going to like smash accept on that deal like after you watch that game.
Yeah, like, I
You're
believe
just going to rage smash it.
London
You're
got
going to rage
hurt.
smash it. I'm telling you right now.
Could be. I don't need them this week, so that's the issue here. But yeah, it's gonna be. At least it might be Tyler Heineke, so that's
Yeah,
my one saving grace. That said, I'm taking Atlanta -4.5.
that's
I
fair.
just can't trust Jaron Hall in his first game in. So maybe that just means it's Will Levis now. It just has like a Will Levis day.
Maybe everyone's will love us now.
Maybe. Okay, next up for me, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the
How
Houston Texans.
Before you give this line, how far have we come that the Houston Texans are favored in a game?
Pretty far, especially after they lost last week. It was on a late field
Yeah,
goal, but still.
the Texans have come pretty dang far.
They're like 3-4, if not mistaken. So
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to win as many games as they're winning. So, but regardless, I am taking the Buccaneers +2.5. The over/under is 40. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but I am
Right.
taking the Buccaneers because Houston can't run the ball. Whatever they do, they can't run the ball. And I suspect Stroud won't have as clean as of a pocket as he said previously.
All right. Give me Houston.
Oh, okay, Houston. Who do you got for us next?
Uh, what are we on right now? Commanders at Patriots. Patriots are favored by 3.5. Give me the Commanders.
It's sort of a weird line,
How
but
are
they're
the Patriots favored by
I
3.5?
guess they have home field advantage. So they're telling us the Patriots are like a 1 point team better than like the Commanders, for
I
example.
don't know. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true either. And but this could be one of those Bill Belichick games versus young QBs. We just completely embarrasses, and the
Yeah,
Patriots win like by 17. So I
yeah.
wouldn't even be shocked by that. Oh, I do like the Commanders quite a bit. But that said, I think I'll have to go with New England. New England's minus 3.5.
Okay.
Just think this is gonna be a rough game to Sam Howell. We still on pace for close to 100 sacks this season. He did have only one or two last game versus the Eagles, but yeah, still getting sacked a whole lot. Next up for me, it's the Los Angeles Rams at the once mighty Green Bay Packers. The Packers
Uh-huh.
are 3-point favorites because I'm assuming Stafford is going to be out and the over under is 40. So without Stafford, I think I'm taking the Packers minus 3.
All right, give me the Rams.
Did you see the comments from McVay when he was asked if Stetson Bennett would be the starting QB?
No, what was the comment?
McVay simply said, "We will be looking outside of the building for help."
Oh
That's the vote of
no!
confidence right there.
Give me the Rams still. Everything's fine. Everything will be fine. I have a feeling this is the Alex week.
Nah, this
This is
could be.
probably
I do need one week in which I just go off.
yeah, you just need 1 week. Just 1 week. Just give
Yeah,
it to him.
I've made like the
But
calculations of where we
just
are. I'll
God
talk
don't
about
get
that
in
in the
my
end.
way.
But yeah, okay. I think this one is for you.
The Colts at the Carolina Panthers. The Colts are favored by 2.5 points. Give me Bryce Young.
I think I'm gonna tell you right on that. Bryce Young came out and looked pretty solid. His first game
He
back
did.
from bye after facing the Houston Texans. I was seeing some stats here that mentioned that like his EPA per play and all that really went up this week, and his effectiveness overall in the passing game really went up this week. So I think he's finally getting acclimated to the NFL. So give me the Panthers plus 2.5 as well, because God knows no one in that Colts defense can stop anyone. Adam Thielen might legitimately be the wide receiver one this week in fantasy.
Maybe. Maybe.
That's interesting. That's always fun. Okay, so breaking news regarding the guy we'll be covering, Chris Olave. After a day of exploration of trades, Jalen Johnson is expected to stay in Chicago. So we should be covering Chris Olave.
Oh. Oh. Chris Olave is still going to go off. Let's be real.
You need to make one soundboard here, which is the one guy, I believe is British. The Shiver Me Timbers guy.
Shiver me timbers, guy.
You never saw that?
Never.
Okay, you need to go
Do
look
I
it up
have
and have it.
audio? Do I have the audio? I might
Yeah.
actually already have it. We'll see.
It's just a guy saying, "Oh, Shiver Me Timbers." Basically saying, "Oh, I should really be afraid." Okay. Something like that. The audio is fun. Okay,
The audio.
and next up, it's the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 3-point favorites, and the over under is 46 points. I'm taking, reluctantly, I am taking, how about them Cowboys? I'm going with the
Taking
Cowboys plus 3.
I'm going with the Cowboys +3, huh?
Yes, sir.
Ah. All right, give me the Eagles.
You also don't seem to love that play.
No, but I mean, you got to stick with your guns, you know. Uh, you know, if the plan is to go against Alex, then go against Alex, and I'm sure I don't feel good right now, but I'm sure I'm gonna come in, next week, and I'm gonna be up 12 to like 2, and everything will be all right with the world. So yeah. All right. After that depressing. Oh, I had my things messed up. 1 second. Technical difficulties. We're having some technical difficulties here.
We are missing now 3 games.
Okay, here we go. Giants at Raiders.
That's gonna be a blast.
The Raiders are favored by 2 points. This is how is this is tied. Okay, I about to say no, it's not. How is this not the lowest scoring game of the week?
No,
How is this not the lowest scoring game? Oh my god.
they don't think Will Levis
They
will
don't
be able
they
to
don't
get
yeah,
this.
they don't have faith. They don't have the faith.
They don't
Give me the
trust.
Giants +2.
Yeah, I'm on the same side. Just after what I saw last night from Las Vegas, it's rough. I have to go with the Giants here. The Giants defense has been playing quite quite a bit of good football, to be honest. So,
Oh boy.
and you have a primetime game. Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are
You
two
got
and a
it.
half point favorites with the second highest over under in the week at 48 and a half.
I
And
think this is actually going to be the highest scoring game of the week.
yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I just hope it doesn't go as well as the last one. So, and I'm sorry to break it to you, but I am taking Cincinnati -2.5.
I hate you.
This is gonna test
We
your
own the
belief.
Bills. We own
You're-
the Bills. Give me Buffalo.
oh my god, you're picking against your team.
You cursed. You laid a curse upon my team, unfortunately, and
Oh my
now
god.
the streak is over. The Bills are about to beat us. You laid the curse. You wished ill.
Oh my god. Well, I did put the curse on my team as well, so
There you go. All right, last game. Chargers at Jets. Chargers favored by 3. I never feel good picking the Chargers. Give me the Chargers.
that's, yeah, like, to me this is a pretty weird line because I think the Jets are probably a better team than the Chargers at this point.
Oh, what?
Is that a not take?
Kinda.
Okay, because we just went from witnessing the Chargers completely blew it to then like facing a pretty meh Bears team and just dominating. They were like a 10-point favorite. And now
Yeah.
like versus one of the best defenses in the NFL. I mean, playing in prime time Zach Wilson is a thing, I guess. Give me the Chargers. My bad. I almost said the Chargers -3. Give me the Jets +3 in my upset of the week.
Oh god.
The last one went great, so
Oh man. All right, so we got through everything. It's like 41. So is there something else you wish to talk about, probably related to fantasy, because this has been a more NFL focused episode generally. The
Just
holiday special really messed us up. Go on.
yeah, just another day, another lose, and the Dynasty the Dynasty Nas League. I
Most
can't
points
get you
scored in
right.
the loss. That should be an honorary Alex award.
Just 130 scored, but I went against Hopkins and CD. How are your other leagues? Like that one, we should tell the audience, you just completely sold off everything and just went for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, what was the rationale behind it? Because I haven't been able to ask you this, but what was the rationale behind it? Did you just
You're
happen to do it?
kind of so like it kind of sort of goes back to that Reddit post I sent you where
The
it
one
was
where the team's tanking will really be whatever.
yeah, so it
Okay.
was to the point that it's this draft has gotten hyped up to the point that teams are actively blowing their rosters up to get either Marvin Harrison Jr.'s or Caleb Williams. It doesn't matter if you're doing super. Obviously, we're not super flex, but either way, like those prospects are so hyped, people are blowing up their rosters to do it. And quite honestly, like even if I don't make the playoffs, because I did have a 1-6 start, so I shouldn't make the playoffs. But if you told me this roster was the roster you'd have, but you'd have no 2024 picks, I'd be cool with it. It's not a bad. It's a great roster, dude.
It is not a bad roster in my opinion. It's just an older
And
roster.
I still have three picks in 2025. So even if like yeah, I'm gonna be kicking myself during the draft, missing out, or maybe a move gets made. We'll see. You never know with Dynasty, but regardless, like I have Justin Jefferson, Chris Olave, Devonta Smith. Like that's something to build off of. I have Jalen Hurts,
Yeah,
Mark Andrews.
like for
That's
sure your team is not bad by any
the
stretch of
day.
imagination.
Literally the second I keep getting offers like multiple seconds for Tajay Spears. The second that Derrick Henry is off the Titans, Spears' stock is just going to skyrocket, and I can either move him or keep him. That's, I guess, a decision I'm going to have to make.
Did you see the one report in which there was apparently a deal that was struck by the Baltimore Ravens and the Tennessee Titans for
Mm,
Derrick Hill, uh, Derrick
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, yeah, and the owner came in and vetoed it
The owner for whom?
for the Titans.
What?
Yeah, the owner didn't want him to leave. So like
Oh,
I
you
I
gotta be kidding
know
me.
I know that
You gotta be kidding me.
we like to say those things like they are moving off of him, but it's kind of like he has been the Titans. He is the embodiment of the Titans for quite a few years. There's
What?
the emotional attachment to it, and they are kind of always in there. Like, what's their record right now? Isn't it like, aren't they close to 500 yet? Like, they're awful and they're close to 500. So their
That's just
record,
crazy.
I mean, yeah, they're 3-4. I mean,
That's
they
just
have the
crazy.
same record as the Texans. We say they are like pretty good and all of that. And I mean, they are just kind of always in there. They're just, and eventually they'll be over 500 because this is just the Titans. So I wouldn't even be shocked if they like give him another 1 or 2 year deal. He doesn't seem to want to go anywhere else. He's fine being in Tennessee. I don't know. Maybe he does go somewhere and like Tajay Spears like just completely goes up in value. But what if he doesn't? What if Henry just stays there?
That would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
That would be crazy.
really weird.
But yeah, no, it was like I got running backs and I got older running backs at that, but outside of that, I don't like in those deals, the running backs wasn't the point. So I'm good. I'm good with it. I got a good wide receiver core. I probably have the best wide receiver core in the league outside of you. I think that's fairly easily. So
Yeah.
I think I'm cool with it.
Like the team is good for sure. Like, don't get me wrong.
Best team,
Just
probably the best team. This team is probably better than the team I fielded before I blew it up.
that is fair. Yeah. Pollard, Spears,
And I
Kamara.
and I have picks. The team I fielded didn't have picks for the next 3 years. I still have 3 firsts in 2025, 2 firsts in 2026. Like, I'll be fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Yeah. Eventually we'll get like a running back, a young-ish running back core. Or you can
Yeah,
just, we talked about it in the offseason, you can just keep on churning these guys, those old
yeah.
guys. They still like, they have value. Like people don't want to value them. But like
Yeah.
Kamara, like prior to the season starting with the suspension and all of that, I mean, I
We
think you
talked we talked about it's more of a touch thing than a age thing. And
exactly.
honestly, Kamara and Pollard do not have the touches yet to
Kamara
be.
Kamara might be close because
Kamara is probably close.
yeah,
But go on,
because
sorry.
he did have like crazy usage at a point. But
Yeah,
I mean, Kamara is probably a guy that you could have acquired for, I don't know, like a second during the draft season. Like they drafted Kendrick Miller. There was the suspension looming. I'm pretty sure you could have gotten him for a second. And now you would be set for what? I mean,
the
he has
deal
been
wasn't
producing.
the deal wasn't about Kamara. I traded George Pickens, Michael Meyer, and what's probably going to end up being a late first for Kamara, Andrews, and Cousins. I'm
Yeah,
cool
like
with that. I'm cool with that.
I'm just saying Kamara as an old running back that someone could acquire that has
Yeah, yeah,
value. Yeah, not like in your deal in specific. His name just came up, so it is one of the examples of guys that are like older vets that people don't want that you can acquire for relatively cheap in a certain
yeah.
period of like off season. So
And who knows? Maybe closer. Like, when is the deadline for our league?
never. We don't have a deadline.
Oh, well then I probably wouldn't do this, but well, not during the playoffs, but let's say like we are getting close to the end of the regular fantasy season. Maybe a team is desperate and they overpay for Pollard or Kamara, and I have yet another wide receiver or draft pick or insert whatever here. I'm golden. Like, cool.
I usually make like trades in the playoffs. Like
Yeah. Oh,
when
you
I'm
make trades? Okay. Well then,
yeah,
maybe I could move Kamara or Pollard to a. I
I
probably could get a haul.
yeah,
Honestly.
I think it was either last year or the year prior, like when I lost in the playoffs because that always happens.
Yeah.
When I lost, I believe it was in the semifinals. I just had like I think it was Saquon, and it was the year prior to the last one. I had Saquon, and I just basically bidded him between the last two guys remaining in the finals. The guy who won that bid just won the league,
Yeah.
not necessarily because of Saquon, because Saquon didn't do much. But yeah, I mean, I just when it's the playoffs, like the league is wide open, and like you can make trades. So just sell away. That is the one advantage that I have when I get to the playoffs and get eliminated. It's just like I can move these players because I don't want them at this point. Like I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't want like a Derrick Henry past this year. And like if I win the title with him, great. If I get eliminated, I'm sure as hell gonna be trying to ship him wherever possible.
Right. So I mean that, and there's flexibility with that. So no, I
Yes.
thought like I don't think there's a scenario that I lost here because I enabled other teams to blow it up. So now the hunt for Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably I said the most interesting it's been in half a decade. That's probably true. And if I make a run and somehow the accounting error happens and I make the playoffs, I'm comfortable with this roster in the playoffs.
I
I'm cool with
was
it.
checking here before we started. I was checking the FF Hub.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if you know the websites.
No, I don't.
Okay, they have basically you input the league, they get all of the information from the league, and they have a playoff machine, which was the one that I mentioned in our league chat,
Yep.
that you can basically like pick and choose throughout the rest of the year who wins and loses, and it gives you the playoffs. And then they have the playoff odds, and you are currently, but this is probably not like up to date because the algorithm probably hasn't like realized that you made all of those moves. But it says that you have an 0.01% chance to make it.
Oh, boy. So yeah, it's an accounting error.
Yeah, exactly. You have the same chances as Zeke's last ride.
I think I got a much better chance, but we'll see.
Yeah, because as I said, I think this is just going based off the record and the points that you scored until now. So they are kind of saying, okay, this guy doesn't score points. He has a 2-6 record. It's almost impossible if he keeps this trajectory.
Yeah.
But as I said, I tried to give you a win in every single game that you have remaining, and just pick the other teams according to projections right now. And you were still an 8-6 team who lost because of the
Okay.
point differential. Now, maybe you make up those points and you are an 8-6 team that makes it in. So,
I'm cool with that. I don't care.
yeah.
I
The
like the
run
roster.
for the 101, it's still, I think you're still the first team
That's
in there.
crazy. I just scored 125 points.
Yeah. The gap is now Justin has 742 points. You have 672. So the gap is 80 points roughly between you and Justin.
So I'll be gone by.
Yeah, like give it a week or two and you're just out of there.
I'll be fine.
Then the race is Austin or Justin.
Yep.
Because Austin has almost 820.
What
So
I'm actually
80
interested
points.
in, because you put our league into different machines that like evaluated the teams. I'm
Oh, yes.
curious to know like where my team stands now with the rest of the league, and as far as that algorithm goes.
I've used a few tools. I like the latest one that I've used was the Keep Trade Cut because they
Uh-huh.
also have, but again, that's just using their values. But
Right.
I can give you like a pretty quick check here. Here's the league ID. Uh, okay. Here's the league ID, and just paste it here. Here, let's get started. Okay, and you are stop. Okay, keep trade cut for you because this just popped up. Hunter Henry, Jamal Williams, or Logan Thomas. Who do you
Hunter
want out of these three guys?
Hunter Henry, say the other two.
Hunter Henry, Jamal Williams, or Logan Thomas.
Probably Hunter Henry.
Okay.
It's Henry or Williams. It's Henry, then Williams, then Thomas for me, I guess.
Now, I think I have Thomas closer to Henry because Thomas has been having a pretty good season,
I guess
and
that's
I
fair.
don't want any of these guys
That's true.
outside of this season. So,
That's true. That's true.
okay, so full team plus picks, you are second on the league in terms of value.
That makes sense. Okay, so the deals were worth it in that sense.
Okay, yes, you are uh the fourth best team quarterback wise. You are the seventh best team running back wise, which is
Makes
fair.
sense. Yeah.
You are the third best team wide receiver wise.
That's kind of
You,
shocking.
yeah, they have link of time ahead of you in that department. So if you go and check them out, they have AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin, Jalen Waddle, Mike
That
Evans, Calvin
that is a
Ridley.
pretty good. That is a pretty
Yeah,
good wide receiver core. I'll give him that.
yeah. Plus, they still have Sutton on the bench as well,
And Rice.
and Rice. Yeah, so
That's
it's fair.
fair.
I
Okay.
am the first in terms of wide receiver. I am not even in the top two in any single other category. So That's fun. You are second in tight end, and you are second in picks. First one I would imagine, yeah, it's Austin.
Yeah. But that's
Eh,
my point. I traded all my 2024 first. I'm still one of the highest leverage draft pick teams, and my roster's nice. So why
yes.
wouldn't I do it?
I mean, players only, you're third in the league.
Yeah.
Alex Miller just takes a huge jump up because he doesn't have picks, and his roster is quite good.
Yeah. No,
Like
100%.
he's first in QB, first in running back,
But here's
fourth
the thing.
at
But that's what I'm saying. So if I enter the playoffs somehow, some way, I have the third best odds of winning according to that. Right?
yes,
So
exactly.
I mean, that's a win. I'm in the race. That's a win.
Yes, that is true. I mean, those were good moves that you pulled out.
Yeah. I think all of them were, yeah.
So I'll give you that. You're just the only weak point is like the yeah. So you have wide receiver 2, wide receiver 9, the wide receiver 13, and then it drops off quite a bit from
I
that
need
to
depth.
Judy.
I need
Yeah,
depth, but I have 5 draft picks in the first round to help equate that, where I could, like next season, start making some moves, or I could even use those selections at this point and be okay with it.
and you do have 3 top 20 running backs according to Keep
Yep.
Trade Cut. Just they're just all outside of the top 9. So you have Pollard
Yeah.
at 10, you have Kamara at 17, and Tajay at 20.
All right. So hey,
So
no, like I said, it's a good roster. I'm happy with it. It's 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 not built, but it's close to built.
and you finally have some like it's good to just be able to cheer for something in a league that you like.
Yeah,
Like
I know. Right?
there's a certain like okay, there's a strategy when you're tanking, and there's something good with it. But it's a whole new feeling when you just can actively cheer for a team that isn't full of guys who will be on Walmart after a year.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and that just makes like the division much more stronger.
I think we
I'm
have the hardest
used
division now. I
I'm
think we have that
used to having you and the team that now Luke has as
being
like
bad.
father teams,
Yeah,
and now I
exactly.
actually have
Two
to
easy wins.
compete.
Yeah, 2 easy wins.
Yeah, 4
Yeah,
in the year.
and it's not even this year. This year isn't the year you should be scared of me. It should be like 2, like next year and the year after. Like, oh, the teams I could potentially build. Woo! You might be in
Yeah.
trouble. We'll see.
Even this year, I do think you have. I might be misremembering it, but I do think you have an important buy. Because other than that, it
I'm
would be
pretty sure you
tough.
get the Eagles by.
Uh,
That would suck if you did, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you do.
I don't. No, I don't think. I don't think so. No, you actually don't have a buy. My bad. I do get very lucky with buys versus Luke the week prior because
There
he
you
has
go.
like 4 or 5 buys. He
Uh-huh.
probably hasn't checked it yet,
Oh
but
boy, poor guy.
he has the like. For example, he takes the Buffalo Bills by. He has Davis and Kincaid. I
Ooh,
lose Diggs, but still, I have the depth. He probably doesn't. Then it like the Gus Edwards buy as well, and the Jordan Addison buy. Yeah, in week 14 versus you, like the main concern right now is
okay?
QB.
So I didn't like trading Brees,
Okay,
but I think I somehow made Luke's team worse when I did that deal.
and now the 150 kind of go against that.
It does. It no, 100% does.
But
But
I agree in the sense that it now lacks depth that it didn't previously had anyway,
mhm,
and now it's even worse. Like an injury
yeah,
just derails all of that.
yeah. So
So
I
I
don't know.
agree in that sense.
We'll see. I
There will be a
actually,
few weeks for me to decide to start at QB versus you in week 14.
we'll see. Our matchups are going to be fun again. I don't remember the last time that happened.
2000 what? 19, probably.
Yeah, probably. It's been a while. It's been a while.
I still remember that year in which I conceded earlier. And then, like, I think it was Darren Waller or something, like, didn't do anything for an half for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. Sad.
I was just like, okay, this one is over. I'll just concede. And then I wake up the next day and it's like I won by a point and a half or something.
Yeah.
Just
Oh man.
and I can still say you never beat me in that league.
True that. I wonder what's gonna happen first. I get a win against you, or you get a playoff victory. As far as
Yeah, I did get a playoff win last year. Just
you
one.
did.
I can't get too used to that, so they just gave me one.
All right. Well,
Oh,
it's about 4, so we need to get you out of here.
and there
So
were no more trades, I believe.
that's surprising. That's
Yeah.
really surprising. Well, you did say Derrick Henry had a deal, but it was vetoed.
I don't see anything like newsworthy to talk about, like random DBs, random guards. Rasul Douglas was traded, but outside of that, just whatever. No trades in the Denver Broncos. Another year in which they teased the Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton deals, and nothing happens.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess that's it. So if you've gotten this far, thank you guys so much. I always say we have a nice fancy donate button. I said on the holiday special, invest in no reserves. Go for it. We're gonna be here. We're gonna stay here. So if you enjoy the content, hit subscribe, engage, and Alex, you like to take it away, so there you go.
Yeah, as always, if you're listening on the podcast on the Spotify app, if you're listening on the podcasts app, wherever you're listening in those apps, just give us a 5-star review, leave us a written comment there. And if you're watching on YouTube, just subscribe, turn notifications on, leave us a like as well and a comment. And until next week, guys, have a good week of fantasy football and a good week overall. See
We'll
you.
be back next week with our normal scheduled programming. Don't worry. This time, maybe with a guest. We'll see.
We will see. We'll keep the
It's
tease
going to be a
on.
fun episode if we do. We'll see, though.
Have a nice one, guys.